I'm Jake Bruton and welcome back. Today we're at an addition project that my firm Aero Building is doing here in Kansas City. And I want to talk to you about a specific product. Today's episode is sponsored by Convection. I want to show you what we have going. And what we have going here is we have a 2x6 wall. We have Zip R9 with one mechanical unit inside this space that's going to take care of this like 14 by 14 addition. And so we have our WRB, our air control layer, we're connected to our foundation and we're vented over top, but we have our normal air control layers on our ceiling. This thing is watertight and airtight before we start talking about putting cladding on the building. Therefore, we're not worried about this cladding, this T111 siding in this instance, being waterproof. So then our waterproof layers here, we're really worried about protecting this layer and making sure that this layer lasts as long as we possibly can. So in comes a rain screen. And when we start talking rain screen, there are a couple different ways that we could look at this. We could look at drying potential and only drying potential. And we look at drying potential only, the code recognizes that like dimpled house wraps and hefty grain on OSB and things like that are draining materials, but they're not enough for like total capillary break. For capillary break, we need like a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch, something like that. But that's not enough for drying potential in the sense of convective looping. And airflow is where we get real drying coming into play here. That's where a real space comes in. That's where our Convection product comes in. And that's what we're gonna really talk about today. And so that's what we see here in the form of these black corrugated strips. Now, full disclosure, because we were waiting on the windows and because it's getting into fall, the clients were gonna have some people over, we went ahead and sheeted the whole addition, painted it, everything to make sure that we were keeping our clients happy. I had the guys strip one back off. You can even see that we've boxed in our windows for temperature reasons. It is starting to get cold. So when we pulled this back off, we have our corrugated plastic strips here. They are high density, like we're not mushing these strips, so they are a consistent nature. We actually get more compression out of the Zip R, the polyiso behind the Zip, than we do out of these guys. So we're not worried about straightness with our siding or anything. They don't have to go behind a panel siding. They could go behind a lap siding. There's any number of uses for them. And they are directional. So the ones that you see vertical here have a drainage slot this direction. If we look at our bottom, we also have the SV3. That is effectively this kind of strip, but turned the other direction. So when water runs down, it can run through that. And it has a integrated bug screen on the bottom. That will keep anything from migrating in from the bottom. Now you could incorporate that at the top as well. We've experienced very little in the way of bug migration, but if you were in a heavy area for pests, I would recommend putting it at the top. We didn't in this case because we're assuming we're gonna get enough airflow through this assembly that they're not gonna wanna migrate in. But if you're at all adverse to that risk, put it at the top as well, be done with it, don't even take the chance. It's not an expensive material, it's just a quality material that you could stuff up there without any problems. It wouldn't bother me at all.